Hey everyone, Django Fett here. So today we are here to discuss the Xbox Game Showcase and Starfield Direct, which just aired by the time this video comes out, maybe a couple days ago. And I am here with.
GeneralCJG here, ready to discuss all things Xbox that just happened today.
Yes. So we'll be doing a quick run through of the different games that came out, and we'll just discuss those as we go by. And of course, we're going to leave Starfield for last.
Yes.
All right.
Indeed.
So we start with Fable.
Oh, yes. They've been hyping that one in the past few days.
Yeah. I gotta admit, I dropped out of I like Fable 1, but after that, I think Fable has just been really mediocre. So I really don't care for this. And they just showed a cinematic. It tried to be quirky, funny. I have no idea what's going on. I don't care for this. Like, this didn't show any gameplay or anything at all.
Yeah, it was definitely a CG trailer. It is good that we actually did get to see something more than just that, that previous trailer where just the fairy got eaten by the frog and then just Fable. Like, at least we actually got more, but yeah, it would have been cool actually seeing actual gameplay.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So this is probably the only exclusive they showed that had no real gameplay. I think this was only the only one, if I recall.
There might be a few. I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, there's actually a couple of them also.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't show gameplay nowadays, and especially since Microsoft has not been up to the standards that we've been wanting for a couple years now, we're going to be more critical now. Okay. So we've been waiting for these games, and just it's been forever. It looks like there's going to be a couple of them that are going to be coming out this year, and hopefully next year. But we'll see. Until they put out these good products, we'll see. Because recently with Redfall, dog shit, it's not been good. Like, the thing is for me, here I'll just go in a little bit of a tangent, but for the big AAA first party games for Xbox hasn't been great. They need to go back to that. However, I will say when it comes to their games showcases and their live streams, they've done a pretty good job at showing off indie games and highlighting those, and I do like that.
One thing I actually gotta give praise to this game showcase, we actually saw a lot more single player and single player games here. There was I could literally count the live service games that were showed in this showcase. I saw one, two, 3, 4, 2 of those just being DLC, and yeah, four. That's pretty much it. Maybe 5, but yeah, out of the 29 games that we saw, only 4 to 5 were just live service games, which is a huge contrast to what we saw with Sony's conference that was a week ago, where they just were focusing hard on live service games, especially when it came to the one made by Bungie, Marathon. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So definitely Microsoft was like, we'll actually give the people what they want. So credit on that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we first start off with Fable, and then we go on to Compulsion Games. And if you don't know Compulsion Games, they did the awful We Happy Few game. So yeah, that's not to look forward. And then this was also another cinematic trailer where they showed South of Midnight. Tells us nothing, and yeah, don't look forward to this game because it's done by the people who did We Happy Few.
Yeah, indeed. Though Compulsion Games, weren't they purchased on Microsoft after We Happy Few released?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, in that case, then maybe we'll get something better. Who knows? We'll have to see. So we'll see how it is.
So the next one was a Star Wars game. However, we're gonna leave our discussion for the next video. I'll just be very brief. It's made by Massive, part of Ubisoft, and it stars a female character who looks a lot like many of you Legends fans may or may not know this character, but Anya Solo from Legacy Volume 2. She looks just like her. She looks like a kind of like a Solo type of character, smuggler, pirate-esque. It's called Star Wars Outlaws, and it's coming out next year. And gameplay reveal will be coming out for the Ubisoft conference, so we'll be leaving our more comments for that when the Ubisoft thing comes out.
Yeah, indeed. So moving on from that, next one was an indie, actually.
Yes, I'm familiar with this one. So this is Thunder Lotus. They've done a bunch of really good games, single-player games. One of my favorite games of all time, I have to say, is called Spiritfarer. A great single-player game, very heartfelt and awesome game. And now they're doing something completely different. It's like a 33-player co-op. I don't know how they're going to do that. But they're known for their single-player games, and now they're doing a multiplayer game. It's kind of weird that they're going into multiplayer route. Maybe that's something that they're forced onto. I have no idea, kind of like how Redfall was like with Arcane. But it seems a little weird. I don't know how it's going to end up being, but it kind of is a mix of Hades multiplayer. So we'll see.
Thunder Lotus, are they independent or they were bought by somebody or they have some other publisher?
I'm pretty sure they're indie, but I think they might have been acquired at some point.
Well, it says they signed an investment fund with Colon Knights for the release of their next game, Spiritfarer, but that released years ago. No, I think what they're doing right now is just they seem to be just going multiplayer on their own, so nobody's like telling them what to do. So yeah, compared to Redfall, where Bethesda and Cinemax clearly wanted a live service.
Yeah.
So this one actually may have much better hope.
Yeah, I think so. I like Thunder Lotus, so this should end up being good.
Yeah.
So next we have Payday 3, September 21st. Don't know anything about
Payday 3.
So.
Well, I know Payday is pretty popular, especially the second game, I believe, on PC and other consoles. I know it's pretty damn popular, so Payday 3 definitely will indeed be it will definitely be a big deal for those that have been waiting for something new for Payday since Payday 2 released in 2013. So, yeah, Payday 3 definitely is pretty big for some.
Yeah. So next we have Atlas doing, oh my god, 3 Persona games or 2 Persona games and another Persona-esque game. Like you see their style, you know it's a Persona game. So 2 games, it's Persona 3 Reload, and then the next one is Persona Tactics, which is like a Persona Chibi version. Very odd. I know Persona 3 could be good. Persona games that have already come out, like there's been 4 of them or 5 of them or something like that. So they're kind of putting them out on Xbox Game Pass. So they just wanted to highlight those. Then there was a fantasy Persona game. I don't know the name, and I honestly don't care. I just think they just put too many games for them to reveal in here, and I just don't care.
Okay, so after Payday 3, we saw Persona, yeah. Then we actually saw Avowed.
Yes, yeah. So we'll talk. Okay, now Avowed is made by Obsidian, and they're doing a fantasy RPG, first-person RPG. And while the graphics are not the greatest, the gameplay is what matters. And from what I've seen, it looks good, and I cannot wait for this. It's coming out next year. And the last time they did a fantasy RPG, from what I remember, Obsidian, is Oblivion, I think.
Oblivion?
Well, I think they did Pillars of Eternity, but I'm saying like RPG, first person, I guess third person-esque, is Oblivion. But I may be wrong.
Yeah, they did do Pillars of Eternity one, yeah.
Yeah. But style just like that, I would say is Oblivion is the last one I could think of.
Oblivion is Bethesda, so no, Pillars of Eternity was the last time they did something roleplay, something fantasy-like. Pillars of Eternity 2 in particular.
Yeah.
So let's also not forget that their last game was The Outer Worlds.
Yes, which is really good.
Yeah. And Avowed is, let's be real, this is basically their take on the Elder Scrolls. It is exactly that. And you know what? I'm all for it because I don't because at this point, the last Elder Scrolls game was Skyrim, and that was like 2011. I'm not counting DSO, The Elder Scrolls Online, because that's an MMORPG. So yeah,
and they're still going to do another Outer Worlds game too. So they're going to do Outer Worlds 2. So cool.
They're probably gonna finish about first before that.
Yeah, I agree.
Which indeed. Okay, so then we got some DLC for Sea of Thieves regarding the Secret of Monkey Island. You know, that IP from LucasArts?
Yeah. I think it's too little too late. Sea of Thieves, don't care. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's cool collab, but yeah, Sea of Thieves is dead. So.
Too late, yeah. There is people playing it, and they reported it to be Rare's apparently most popular release lately, but that's probably because they fixed it post-launch. So there's that. Yeah, that's your tips for you. Then we got, then was something I definitely did not expect, but it was actually good because it will definitely test the shit out of our PCs. I'm talking about Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024.
Yeah, and then what was revealed at the end, which I thought was really fucking cool, and I might actually go back to Flight Simulator because I tried it first. It was just overheating my PC, was not great. However, this collab was actually really cool. They have a Dune collab because I love Dune. They're going to have a Dune Flight Simulator collab, and it's going to be like this whole different, like instead of how Flight Simulator is based off the real world, this one is going to be based off like this Dune universe, or I guess world. So it should be interesting how they will do that. I wonder if my PC will handle it. I have no idea. But I'm excited for this. I think this looks cool. I love Dune, so.
Flight Simulator it's definitely been the crisis of this generation. Like, it definitely will melt PCs. You need to have a really, really, really good PC to even have this running on a solid 30 FPS.
Yeah.
But even having it at 60, no, you need that really power shit. So yeah, this definitely is going to be a great one for testing PCs, and it's also coming for Xbox Series S and X. How are like that? Flight Simulator 2020 already has already set like a 30 FPS. I think it's 1440p or 4K on those consoles. Like, how are they gonna pull it off for the next one, 2024? Holy shit! And this one is supposed to be more ambitious than the previous one, so. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like, this game's going to push a lot of boundaries when it comes to the tech from Microsoft and Windows. Like, it's going to be insane.
Yeah.
Indeed. Okay. Next was Hellblade 2.
Okay, so... I still need to finish Hellblade 1 because I don't understand what the fuck is going on with this. But... this was more of a cinematic. I know it said in-game engine, something like that. The game actually does not use any sort of HUD, and most of the cinematics they do look like real cutscenes because there's no HUD and they're trying to be as cinematic as possible. So it actually can be in-game footage. Yeah, but I mean, from what I saw, I don't get it. It looks pretty boring to me. I need to see gameplay. I need to see more of this because. Right now, all I'm seeing is cinematic stuff, and I don't get it. I really don't understand what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the game is has almost no HUD. So actually, the gameplay and the visuals can be seamlessly transitioned. So it's like the first game. So I see plenty of the first game. Haven't played it, but yeah, the game is supposed to be as cinematic looking as possible. So even gameplay, you could pretty much think, oh, it's a cutscene, but not really.
Right.
So
I just didn't understand what was going on in the trailer. So.
Oh yeah, it's just a trailer, just meant to just show how good the visuals are. So obviously, it's not gonna wow us story wise. So we'll have to play the game to see. Mm-hmm. Of course, yes. The Cyberpunk 2077 DLC.
Okay, so let me get into this. So this was discussed in the beginning by Keanu Reeves, which is awesome. He introduced it, and you visit this place called Dogtown, and you try to save New USA. I always love Keanu Reeves' energy when it comes to these presentations. Like, this is the second time he's done it, but I always love him. I always love Keanu Reeves in general. But this is an expansion. It honestly should be free, to be honest, because after the shit show of the original game, it should be free. but
It should be,
it's
yeah.
gonna cost money. I don't know how much it is, but it's coming out September 26th. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll play it. So.
Okay, I'll let you play it. I'm just waiting for the game to fully be fixed.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna buy it like immediately, like the first day. Probably give it some time before it releases. But I'll play it. I'm excited. The next game we have is City Skyline 2. So I like the first game. It's a fun city simulator that makes up for having no longer
no
having
SimCity.
This is a great replacement, and it's coming out October 24th. The first game was awesome, so I'm looking forward to this. This coming out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because SimCity fans, they probably are still angry at EA for having destroyed the franchise with the 2013 game. So, yeah, this definitely will be a good replacement for that. Yeah, and I definitely hope it is pretty damn good. And yeah, indeed. Then we got some other game called Towerborn. I think it was one of those in this.
It's the creators of Banner Saga Trilogy, which I really like. It's a co-op, I think, side scroller. It was kind of hard to tell what it is exactly, but it looks interesting. I'll play it.
Yeah, because they just showed CG, right? They didn't actually show any gameplay. It's a co-op adventure. Oh, it's kind of like a 2D beat 'em up of sorts.
Yeah, like a side scroll. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But it was kind of hard to tell exactly, so I kind of want to see more of that.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah. So this is an interesting first-person shooter, SteamWorld setting. It honestly looks a lot like, you know what I'm going to say, a BioShock Infinite wannabe.
However, you literally read my mind.
However, I'm not a big fan of BioShock Infinite. Not a big fan. I like the DLC, but BioShock Infinite, I think it's a subpar game, to be honest. So this could be good. I mean, it says you can change the things in the past to change in the present.
And the future.
But we'll see how that plays out. I'll play this. I want to see the reviews and see how this plays out.
Yeah, indeed. My experience with BioShock, I've only played the first one from start to finish. I've not played the second and Infinite.
Okay,
so
second is pretty good, and Infinite is. I would play.
Infinite is all over the place. Yeah, Infinite is all over the place. Some like, a good chunk of people like it, but there are those that definitely consider it inferior to BioShock 1 and 2.
But the DLC is pretty good because you actually go back to BioShock 1 setting.
Okay, that's interesting. Rapture. Yeah. So apparently, Clockwork Revolution is going to release on Game Pass on day one. So, okay, we don't need to spend money on it to play it. So there's that. Then Phil Spencer came out and was talking about pretty much everything. So yeah, that's where I also got a bit of confused compulsion with InSound Timmons games. So yeah. And by the way, did you notice what shirt Phil Spencer was using? Because I just find it kind of interesting.
Oh, I didn't see that.
He's wearing a Hexen shirt. You know, Hexen, the first-person franchise from Raven Software. So the fact that he has a Hexen shirt, something tells me that he's probably confident that they'll probably actually have Activision Blizzard under their umbrella, so they can get the IPs. Because remember, Hexen and Heretic, it's from Raven Software. So in order to get that, they need to purchase Activision.
They did reveal a Xbox Series S in black version with a 1 terabyte SSD, and it's $350.
Yeah, they revealed the Xbox Series S, 1 terabyte, and it's black. Pretty cool. Only $350, so just a $50 increase.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not too bad. Certainly more worth it than buying the Switch OLED again if you already have a Switch. So, yeah, definitely worth it. So yeah. Indeed. Okay, Starfield. Right. So, oh god, Starfield. I guess we should go from the beginning where Todd Howard introduces, and he's like, this is gonna be like a great. Basically, we always did like Fallout and Elder Scrolls, and we just wanted to see how it would happen if he goes and we do it in space now, and all the potential, and there's a lot of stuff to cover with Starfield. So
when I heard Todd Howard speak, all I heard was "Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies." So that's all I heard from his mouth. So
Yeah, 16 times the detail.
And like, I already saw right away, the graphics are so limited. They're not good. It's limited by the engine. This engine that is like what, almost like 10 years old or something. Like it's ancient at this point.
It's actually 20 years old.
Oh my god. See, that's the thing. Like they're using this ancient as busted engine, and it really shows. It does not look great. The characters look awful to me, and you know that's the thing with Bethesda games. Their characters don't look good, but I honestly think Skyrim looks better than this shit. Like it's just that bad. Like where an older game will look better than this game.
Okay, so visually, I actually think the game looks good. But here's the thing. There are times that it looks good, but there are times that it doesn't. The lighting does play a part of it, and YouTube compression also doesn't help. But the biggest thing regarding Starfield is just everything I saw just looks too ambitious for its own good. Like it's for Bethesda's good. Like this, they describe, because think about it. We're basically, this is supposed to be, I guess, Fallout or Skyrim in space, but then apparently they say that you can actually explore not only multiple planets but even the moons and apparently other systems, and you can even have your own customizable ship, and you can have your crew, and you can customize not only your character appearance and everything. And they say some worlds are procedurally generated, but others are actually crafted. Like, holy shit, this screams like No Man's Sky, but instead of the No Man's Sky devs, it's Bethesda. But we've seen Bethesda's releases. They always come out unpolished, buggy, with glitches, and the performance definitely is not going to be 60 frames per second. In fact, we never saw 60 frames per second in this direct, so by default it's going to be 30. So yeah, like this just looks too ambitious for its own good. Like I don't think Bethesda can handle it. Like, and prove me wrong, but it looks too ambitious. Like I'm seeing too much ambition.
No, I agree. I described it as No Man's Sky meets the Outer Worlds, but this is like way too ambitious. And they even just said this. I thought this was like, there's no fucking way they can do this. 1,000 planets you can explore. I'm calling total BS on that. 1,000 planets, and I bet you they're all going to be empty. There's not going to be anything going on in like 3/4 of those worlds, so you can really explore like 100 of them, really. So I'm placing a bet right now that it's going to be like most of the planets are going to be barren. There's not going to be anything going on, and we're going to mention right now that we recommend doing this. Do not pre-order this fucking game. Do not pre-order any game in general, but especially this game. Do not fucking pre-order, because it's going to be a fucking mess on day one. So you have to fucking wait for this game. Do not buy this game. So,
even seeing like the snippets of combat they showed, they don't run that well. Like the 30 frames per second does not look that appealing to the eye.
Yeah, I mean,
like, I don't know.
I don't think it looks all terrible, but I think that because it's Bethesda and they're using their old creation engine, it's going to be severely limited in every aspect.
Yeah, it's going to be severely limited. Their creation engine is basically based. The creation engine they use right now is basically a improved version of the Cambrio engine, which they first started using with Oblivion. So it's that same engine, and we saw Bethesda's latest releases. The last one was Fallout 76, and we saw how dog shit that was. So, and Fallout 4 was their last one, and that like already was not one of the best looking games or even best performing games in that generation, 2015 with the PS4 X1. I mean, now they have better hardware, but I mean, even when Bethesda has had the best of hardware, like, oh my god,
just play this on Game Pass. If you just play it on Game Pass, then you don't have to buy the game, and then you can just play it day one, of course. But you're not supporting their practices, their bullshit practices when it comes to this. You can still play the fucking game on there.
Yeah, indeed. So definitely go with Game Pass. And they showed a shit ton of shit in the game. Like apparently you can customize your weapons. You can take a shit ton of weapons that you actually have a currency system and gathering resources like No Man's Sky. And you also can apparently grab all sorts of food and everything. And the weight limit is back, by the way. Remember that? You know, when you grab so many stuff, and if you are overcumbered, you cannot move that much.
Oh yeah.
It's back. It's back. I'm seeing it right now, and seeing that a food apparently says point something mass, and I see the mass down below, 97 to 145. Yeah, mass limit is back, or weight
I
limit.
hope it's not for the supplies and stuff like the resource gathering, because if that's the case, you're not going to be able to carry anything. Like, you can't even carry your own weapons and stuff. Like, it's going to be so limited in that aspect. It's just like, why should I do resource gathering, or why should I even pack my weapons? Like, it's just like, that's so stupid.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna be something.
Also,
like, what do you think of the weight limit in the previous games?
No, I think they make sense in those games, but in here, when you're in this big, huge galaxy, where you should be able to pack things no problem and have pretty much, I'm not saying like limitless, like an infinite weight limit, but have it be more believable in that aspect. And if you just have it so that it's so limited that you can't really carry anything, it's just going to be more of a pain for the person playing the game. It's not going to be fun.
Yeah, it won't be fun. The weight limit did get better as games progressed, because in Oblivion you couldn't move shit when you were overcumbered. At least with Fallout and Skyrim you actually can move a little bit, so you could at the very least get as close as possible to the store to pretty much sell some shit and stuff. So at least there's that.
In those games, they're completely different, because it's just you. You don't have to worry about a crew or anything else in this giant galaxy. It's just you in this little world, or big world.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that is true.
I think that makes more sense. But in here it doesn't. Also, I'm getting a lot of Alien vibes, like when it comes to the UI and like a lot of the ship designs. I love Alien. Like, Alien 1 is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. But I feel like the UI is terrible, and I feel like the font doesn't fit with this game at all. Like, I hate the font in this game. Like, it's going to take me some while to get used to.
They said that the reason why they went like this, and why some of the interiors of the ship are like that, is because they're actually going for that 80s sci-fi aesthetic of sorts. So that's probably why the UI is like that.
I'm just not a big fan. Like, I just think, like, because your cities look so grandiose and look so cool, like this really sci-fi aesthetic, like the way that the UI and the ship design looks like inside, it makes no sense to me. I don't understand it. Like, it's a completely backwards direction from what I expected.
Yeah, and seeing the map where you can actually, the navigation map where you can pretty much see where you wanna, like, the planets and everything. Like, they showed everything: the type, gravity, temperature, fauna, flora, water, and even shows the resources available and some traits. So apparently you can. Yeah, you'll be able to see everything. But yeah, I'm just getting the vibe that some planets are actually going to be handcrafted by developers, but others are going to be procedurally generated. Because they did mention that some of them will be procedurally generated. They did mention that here.
Yeah, they did mention that. I'll wait till I see that, because I just don't think it's going to be put to that effect. But maybe it's like some of like the Alpha Centauri world or whatever it is, New Atlantis. I don't remember the name. It was like the capital world, like the world you start off with. Then after that, then it would be probably like the other planets you can see that are procedurally generated. I think probably, yeah.
Yeah, they're seeing the entire galaxy universe map because it says multiple solar systems. Yeah, this looks too much. Oh, I'm already seeing like 4 to 5. How the fuck are they gonna do this? I'm feeling this is too much for Bethesda. Like, no, this is too much. Like, what's their biggest game? Skyrim, is it? Isn't it their biggest, or Fallout 4? Like, which one is their biggest?
Probably 76, but nobody gives a shit. I don't know.
Yeah, they're biggest, and yet they're most unpolished, broken one.
But yeah, Skyrim. I would say probably Skyrim. Or 4.
Well, yeah. Well, what I'm seeing here, this is giving me like Skyrim multiplied by 3 or 4 in space. Like, I think this is way bigger than that. How the fuck are they gonna do this? Like, I mean, I get it that this game's been delayed, but holy fucking shit, this looks so... If this was Rockstar, okay, Rockstar, I'd actually be more excited, because Rockstar, yeah, they have the resources and the manpower to pretty much, actually do this big shit. So I could see it from them. But Bethesda...
Yeah, there is. I mean, even there's problems in the character customization. I don't think it looks good. The character, like the way
Yeah.
you create your character and stuff. Like even, I mean, this has been a problem since like the very beginning of their games. Like they just don't do a good job with character creation. But there are some things that I like the different styles of play that you can use, customizing your ship. That looks cool. I just think that like I definitely want to go for any way I want to play it. Like I definitely want to go for a stealthy build, which they did show off. Some
Yeah.
people want to go with run and gun. It's totally up to you. And I think that level of gameplay is really cool, and that's what draws me.
Yeah, the character customization definitely, at least from the skills and the stats wise, it looks interesting. Visuals wise, okay, I'm getting the sense that these character models don't look that good.
Yeah, I think Outer Worlds looks a million times better than this, and it looks so much similar to Outer Worlds in almost every single way. It's crazy to me. And like
Yeah,
even like the way they talk too, it's just like Outer Worlds.
You know the shit that looks the best when it comes to character models are the robots, or when they're using armor. It's just we don't see their faces.
Yeah.
Because the faces actually don't. Yeah, they look like a late PS4 Xbox One faces. Like seriously.
I think the combat looked a little rough in the beginning, but then in the end when they showed it a little bit more, I thought it looked really fun. But it's very much more like a Call of Duty-esque. Well, not Call of Duty, but somewhat similar to Call of Duty and how they approach the combat.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. I did notice the combat. Actually, it looks a lot more like a typical first-person shooter. There's no bat system or anything in between. The only time I saw bats was in the actual dogfighting with the spaceships. That kind of looked like you had that. So I get it. If they actually improve their FPS gunplay, that's good, because their FPS gunplay in previous games was not that good. You had to use bats to pretty much do anything. So if it's much improved here, then that's good. But it may consider it to be, generic FPS gunplay, which, I guess if it's generic FPS gunplay, then that should be fine, because, RPGs are more about the stories, the characters, exploration, leveling up your character and everything. So the gunplay is just decent to good, and it should be good enough. My problem with the gunplay is that it can tank performance a bit. I've seen a few frame rate dips and all the gameplay they've shown that shows the gunplay. I just think it's not gonna. I think the performance is gonna be the worst problem with gunplay. Oh, yeah. I really think so.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's gonna run really badly. I will also say that the dialogue, I'm glad they're not doing. Well, I guess we need to see more of this. But the dialogue doesn't seem like it's going back to Fallout 4, which was just so incredibly stupid and redundant. The dialogue, in comparison to what they're doing now, is much more like Outer Worlds kind of dialogue, which I like. Yeah, you could see I think there was one, you could make a choice based on your background or traits. Like there was one where there was one like a monster hunter or something like that. I don't remember what it was. And they
you can basically be a beast hunter. Yeah.
So depending on whatever trait or background you get, then you can apply that to your dialogue, which is cool.
Yeah, it is pretty. Yeah, the best part of this customization definitely will be the skills and the stats you're gonna put. That definitely is gonna be the best part. Visually wise, not so much. Character models look ugly, so there's that.
I have to remark on this. This is probably the worst collector's edition I've ever seen. They're giving you a fucking watch and a lunchbox. That's all they're giving you. It's supposed to be like a special case, but it looks like a fucking lunchbox. It looks so stupid. Worthless crap. Absolutely worthless. This is the worst collector's edition I've ever seen.
I know this game has been delayed more times than any other Bethesda game, but well, let's be real. This is Bethesda. They are bound, and this is their most ambitious game I've ever seen from them. So this easily is going to be it could be the buggiest game ever, and buggier than Fallout 76. Oof, we'll have to see that. But yeah, I am definitely skeptical. Okay, I got a question to you, Django. do you really think Starfield is actually gonna do it for Xbox and Microsoft? Like, do you actually think it's going to make it so that okay, they finally have a good exclusive, or Forza is gonna be the one?
I don't think it's gonna be Forza, but I also don't think it's gonna be this game. They just have to have more. They can't just have one game they can rely on, and that's the problem. They always come out with like maybe one or maybe 3 big titles, but they always end up failing. And they just can't rely on those. They have to come out with some more big heavy hitters. And recently they just haven't done that for quite some time. So they need to go back in the drawing board and really, really focus on these first party games. Because if they don't, then they're not going to sell anything.
Yeah, exactly. And Game Pass is going to be losing subscribers. I mean, there's a reason why Netflix been losing subscribers, because their exclusive shit has not really been doing it. And they used to be the ones that had everything, but now that Disney and Amazon Prime and others exist, well, they're losing subscribers because now they don't have those issues in the hole anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, and the same can happen for Game Pass. They really need those exclusives, because otherwise, well, I mean, yeah, you're going to be losing subscribers.
So they showed quite a lot for the Starfield Direct. However, I need to see more. I need to see more of the dialogue. I need to see more of the combat. I need to see more of the exploration and the ship customization, because the ship customization looks great. I think I'm really interested in that, because they even showed them customizing it so much to an extent where they customize it to freaking Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime?
Yeah, that was insane to me when I saw that. I was like, wow.
Lol, that's something. That is something indeed. Okay, gotta ask you, the Django, the dogfighting, because they show dogfighting here. What do you think of it?
It looks okay. So the dogfighting looks really stiff to me. It's not like on the level of I don't expect it to be like Elite Dangerous or No Man's Sky or any of these, big starfighter simulated games. I don't expect
or even Star Wars games.
Yeah, I don't expect that at all. But I'm expecting something competent, and I'm not seeing it here. So maybe it depends on your ship. If you have a lighter ship, you can go faster, and here's the part that plays with the UI too. You can change it, like they showed, like you can change it where you can change your shields up, or if you want to speed, get out of there, there's a different option for that. You can increase that to go faster, to hyperspeed out of there, whatever the term is. So there's different options for that, but because of the UI looks so fucking terrible, I don't think I'll be using that at all. I won't be knowing what each of those things are going to be. So we'll see how that plays out, but I don't expect anything good.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, there will be some. I saw the dogfighting, and yeah, it didn't look like the most interesting. I mean, we'll see how it is, but yeah, okay. The games I remember that have the best dogfighting, obviously Star Wars games, the Rogue Squadron games, and Battlefront 2 also had some really good dogfighting. But then again, those are older Star Wars games. The more latest ones, I mean, Battlefront 2, yeah, could have had. I mean, it had some good, but it was completely ruined by the star card system. So you could, that shit was that was the biggest caveat of it. But and then there's Bungie's Halo Reach, which also had some really good dogfighting in that one mission. So it is definitely. It will be interesting seeing the dogfighting in Starfield, but I just don't know if it's. I just don't know if it's going to be as good as any of those. I mean, it should be at least as good as Halo Reach is, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe your type of ship is going to, like you said, the type of ship is going to determine how it is. But yeah, the dogfighting is going to be something, and I think it also would determine if your crew is useful or something. So. Yeah, it's gonna be something. Which, speaking of the crew, so okay, you've said it before, Django. Like before, you don't have to worry about anybody, you're just by yourself. But here with Starfield, managing a crew and even bringing them to your ship and traversing the planet with them, you could apparently the devs even said you could even go as far as telling them to follow you into whatever area in whatever planet you want. So basically, you can leave them in the ship, just protecting it, or they can come with you. So basically, they're doing advanced companion AI, and I'm skeptical of that because has Bethesda done good companion AI or AI in general, Django?
Not for a while. Yeah.
When was the last time they did good AI?
I guess the Skyrim DLC. I don't know.
Oh, Christ. How do you think it's going to play out, the companion AI?
I don't think it's going to be good.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. I'm not expecting anything, to be honest. Anything good.
Okay. Oh, Christ. Yeah. Oh, and then you can create your own ships and everything. You can also create your own settlements. Is that from Fallout 4? I think you could create your own house there.
Yep.
Oh man, they're having so much. They're putting so much serious. It's like they're putting a lot of elements of the previous games here, and all of them in this same dated engine. Like it is making me skeptical as fuck. I really don't think they can handle it. Like I really don't think so.
Yeah.
It's gonna be too much.
Okay. So, any final thoughts?
Well, the entire showcase, I think it was pretty good. They showed more good than bad, to be honest, and very few live services, only like 5 at most, like 5 at most, and mostly good. And Starfield, skeptical as fuck. I really think that it's gonna be buggy. It's gonna be unpolished. I'm calling it.
Yeah, agreed. I'm the same with you. It seemed not too bad with the Xbox Game Showcase, and we will see how Starfield plays out. And I will say that we will discuss more of the Star Wars game, which is Star Wars Outlaws, on our next video. So we'll discuss
which we cover Ubisoft and Capcom.
At Ubisoft and Capcom, we'll cover that, but we'll discuss that a little bit more in the next video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it for now. We will see how Starfield and the rest of the Xbox games do. Hopefully they don't end up like Redfall. But we will see. But thank you, CJ, for joining.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see you guys on the next video, which is going to be the Ubisoft and Capcom conferences for the next day. And until then, take care.
Bye-bye.